Okay, this is lesson 6, and in this lesson I'm going to teach you how to grab your frets with your left hand. Your right hand hits the strings. In the previous lessons I showed you how to hold the instrument and where your hand should end up, your right hand. This is about the left hand. The left hand is used to press the notes. And in the previous lessons I told you the metal strips are called frets. They are. In between are the fret numbers. So when you play an instrument, I'm using a prim for an example here, you never ever touch the metal strips, the frets. You always have your fingers in between the metal strips. So, what am I actually doing here? If you look at my left hand, I'm coming straight down onto the instrument. Not sideways, not like this. Not like a piano. All string instruments, your hand presses down like you do, like you're typing. So, look where my knuckle bend is. Look where my bends are. I'm coming down at a 90-degree angle to the strings with my fingers. Straight down, straight down, straight down. So it's like I'm typing. And I do not hit the frets. I want to play in between the frets. So the fret numbers, the area in between the frets is where I'm pressing. So let's look at this close up. Here's my right hand. I hit the strings with my right hand. I'm not grabbing any fret. What is my left hand doing? This is what's doing all the work. I push straight down and firmly, firm pressure straight down. If it's not firm, it sounds like this. Because this finger is not pressing down hard enough. So it's a firm press. Very firm press, actually. So, if anything, when you're playing tamburitza, the part of your body that needs to get developed are your fingers. Your fingers need to get strength. So, my left hand is pressing firmly down in between the area of the frets. Those are called fret numbers. And if you look at my hand, I'll come sideways maybe. Let's look at my hand. Straight in. Straight in. My fingers are coming down and in, down and in, down and in. Straight in at a 90-degree angle. So it's like I'm typing from the top. Now what happens if you hit the metal strips with your fingers instead of playing in between them? This is what it will sound like. Here's a clear note. Now I'm going to hit the fret by accident, and hear the muffling. This is correct. This is incorrect. So you want to be in between the frets. And my fingers are straight down. See that? Straight down on the frets. So, a good practice exercise when you get your instruments is your right hand. This is called picking. When I just hit the strings and I just let them ring, that's a pick. And the strings ring out. I'm not grabbing any note right now. So a good practice exercise would be to hit your first string open, practice grabbing the frets, second finger grabs the next fret, third finger, fourth finger. Now, this is a good exercise to build up strength in your fingers. Now, one thing that's going to happen is these are metal strings, and your hand is made out of skin, right? Well, when metal hits skin, something's got to give, and it's going to be your skin. So what's going to happen is you're going to get almost a blister. But I don't really want you to get up to a blister. You should do this maybe 10 minutes a day until your fingers hurt. And eventually, if you look at my tops of my fingers, I have calluses. See that? Those are calluses. And that's just your skin's getting hard from touching the strings. And once it gets hard, it gets really easy to press down. In the beginning, when you first start, it's going to be tough because your skin's going to be soft. But your skin will develop a callus, but it won't develop a callus unless you do this, you know, just 10-15 minutes a day. You're going to have to do it. And you just go up and down the instrument. So you're practicing your picking this way. You're getting your hand strength. It's like weightlifting on a minor scale here. And you're practicing hitting your notes clearly and pressing down. You have to press down. In the other lesson on how to hold your instrument, I said you never grip. You don't grip. But you do press down firmly. If I don't press firmly again, here I'll hit a note without pressing down firmly. It's hard to show you that. But I'm not pressing firmly. And I get this kind of sound. Firm, unfirm. Firm, unfirm. So if you're hearing this, that means you're not pressing down firmly. So what I want you to do to practice getting your hand strength and to develop calluses, like my hand has calluses, is just take your instrument. You can use any string or all your strings and just go up and down using all 4 fingers. Now naturally your little finger isn't going to have much strength because you've never done this before. And maybe not even your 3rd finger. So it doesn't take a long time to get this going. A week, 2 weeks, maybe 3 at the max, and your hand will get strong fast. And remember, I'm pressing straight down. Look at my hand. Look where my hand is bending, where the knuckles bend. It's a 90-degree angle from the small part of your knuckle, and you're pressing down. Pressing down. Watch any video on any string instrument and watch their left hand. They're all doing the same thing. It's a down press. Press down. So your exercise is open. So in this lesson, it's actually kind of 2 lessons because I'm also showing you that you have to pick. And picking is a single hit of the strings. A pick is just hitting the strings once and letting them ring. Now, how is my right hand positioned to do this? Like I told you in the previous lesson on how to grab an instrument, it should be in between the frets and the bridge. My hand is in a cup position. Look at the cup. There's the cup. Here's my pick. It's between my thumb and my 1st finger. Look how it's grabbed. What's the angle at the strings? It's about a 75 degree. It's not straight down. It's at a slight angle. See that? So not straight down. Wrong, right. Wrong, right. So if I pull the instrument up like this, so you're going to be doing 2 things here when you're doing this exercise. You're going to get your right hand used to hitting the strings. And remember, if you have a double string, you hit both at once because that's the same string. So I'm hitting both of these strings at once. And then the main part of this exercise is to get your left hand worked out. And you want to get some strength built up. So I'm picking the notes one by one. Open. So look at my right hand, look at my left hand, look what they're both doing. There's no grip, but there is an absolute firm press. It has to be a firm press. Now don't sit there like this and push and push and push. No, it's just a firm press so that the strings are flush against the neck of your tamburitza instrument. The string has to be pushed all the way to the wood to get a clear sound. If it's not pushed to the wood, you get this. And so that's how you can tell if you're pushing correctly. If you get this or you get this. If you hear anything that's not clear, that means your fingers aren't pushing the strings flush. And make sure you do not touch the metal strips. Now this is the smallest of the instruments, the preem. And I have big fingers and I can get my fingers in between. So let's pull a broad chop. Same deal. You want to be in between the frets. The frets are the metal strips. The area in between are the frets numbers. And so you get a note by playing in between the metal frets. The metal strips divide up the notes. So here's my right hand. Where is it? Over the sound hole. My hand's at a cup position, about a 75-degree angle with the pick. My fingers are coming straight down. Look at my hand. Look at my left hand. I am not sideways like this. I'm not sideways. It's not like a piano. It is not like a piano. Your fingers come straight down to the fret. Alright, so here we go. So my fingers are coming down straight, pushing the strings all the way against the neck, so not hitting the metal strips. Now if you just do this 10 minutes a day, your hand will get strength, you'll get calluses on your fingers, and you'll make your playing real easy. But it's going to be tough in the beginning. It is going to be tough. I can't lie to you. Your fingers have never touched metal like this. And they're going to hurt. And they're going to almost develop a blister. They might. If you do get a blister, let it heal for a couple days and then start doing it again. It'll harden up. And once it's hard, I mean, I can't even feel my fingertips with these calluses now, so it's easy to press. But I know that you're going to have the opposite story. They are going to hurt after a while. So until you develop a callus, and just do this every day. And you can use your other strings to do this. That way you get used to hitting your different strings with your hand. So your right hand can get used to moving from string to string. And you can develop a callus on your left hand. And you get used to pressing the frets. Pressing in between the frets. I've got to watch my terminology with you guys because if you're just starting. But we're talking about the area in between the metal strips. Never the metal strips in between. So if I go to the third string A, and look at my left hand, how I'm pressing straight down. Straight down. Look where the bends are. Go to the E string and do it, the fourth string. Now, you're gonna have to use all four fingers. If you try to be lazy and use two fingers to play notes, you're never gonna be able to play. It's not gonna happen. You can get away with it on these three strings, but you can't get away with it when you get to your first string G, because you're gonna need all four of your fingers to move through all the frets. Yeah, you can probably get away with it here, but you can't. So the best thing to do is learn the correct way, and the correct way is to use all four fingers. And we're not asking you to weight lift here. I'm just asking you to pick your instrument up 10 minutes a day, 15 at the most, and just do that run. just to develop strength in your fingers and get used to not hitting the frets and pressing firmly. Now, I don't care how old you are, young, old, in between, this doesn't require a lot of strength. It just requires you to get used to pressing down firmly. And you notice I'm not straining to do this, I'm just making sure the strings have good contact. The strings have to be pushed to the neck so that it's a clear note. If there's any lift on your finger, the note becomes like this. It's not my right hand causing that, it's my left hand because I didn't press down firm. Firm, 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 firm. Alright, this lesson is how to correctly use your left hand to grab the frets, and also I taught you a little bit on how to hold the pick with your right hand, but mainly this is to get you used to grabbing the frets the correct way. This is crucial. If you don't learn this the right way in the beginning, you can never actually play the instrument. Because if you think you can play with two fingers, that's never going to happen. If you watch any musician, they're using all four of their fingers. And I get it. They're not going to be strong in the beginning, and it's going to hurt. I get it. But I just told you what's going to happen. 10 to 15 minutes a day, you'll gradually get a callus. Within 2-3 weeks, it'll get really hard, and then it won't hurt at all. So you're just going to have to sacrifice some pain for about 2 or 3 weeks until your fingers get a callus. Okay, I hope I didn't scare everybody to death on this, but that's the facts. Okay, bye.